In his best-selling book, The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, author Stephen Covey encourages his readers to begin with the end in mind. That's what we're going to talk about today. Now, what does it mean to begin with the end in mind? In his book, he offers a simple exercise that I believe will help us here today. Imagine with me, if you will, that you're attending a funeral. Now, I know that sounds crazy. Just bear with me a moment. You're attending a funeral, and as you walk in the funeral home, everyone's dressed nicely. It's a somber occasion. There are flowers placed throughout, and in the front, of course, is the casket. And as you walk to the front to pay your final respects and to say your last goodbyes, you look down in the casket, and what you see shocks you. It's you. This is your funeral that we're attending. There are 4 people scheduled to speak. The first is a family member. And you can think about what family member you would want to speak if it were your funeral. The first is a family member. The second one is a friend. The third person we're going to have speak is a coworker or a colleague. And finally, the fourth person will be someone from your church or perhaps a community group that you're involved with. Now, let's think about what you would like them to say. What would you want them to say about you and the way you lived your life? What character would you want them to have seen in you? What accomplishments would you want them to talk about? Now let me ask you a second question. If your funeral were tomorrow, what would they actually say? See, we've got a list of the things we would want them to say. I know for me, I would want my sons to stand up and say, hey, my dad was selfless. He always put other people first. He was always trying to serve someone else. I would want them to say that I was faithful to God and that I was loyal to my church. I can think of lots of things I would want to be on that list. But then when we think about what people would actually say, perhaps those 2 lists don't line up with one another. And that is how we know when there needs to be a change in our lives. Now, don't be discouraged. If your 2 lists don't match, it's not too late. You know, they say that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time to plant a tree is today. Coincidentally enough, for me, I returned to school and got serious about my education at 39 years old. How convenient would it have been in my life had I gotten serious at 19 years old about my college education? That would have been awfully convenient. Life would have been a lot different over the last 20 years. But you know what? Even though I was 20 years late, I did it. I achieved that goal and I graduated college. So it's never too late to reach your goals. But this exercise that we've done here today shows us our values, shows us what we value the most. Our values then show us what our goals should be. See, if those 2 lists we talk about, if they don't match, then we need to set some goals, right? We need to make some changes. I want you to think about this. I want you to picture a family heading on vacation. They get in the car, mom and dad are in the front, the kids are in the back, and one of the kids say, Mom, Dad, where are we going? And the parents reply, you know, we haven't thought about it yet. Not sure where we're going. How absurd would that be? Nobody does that. When you go on vacation, you know where you're going to, right? You've already got the hotel reservation. You would reply to that. You would tell your kid, we're going to Disney World, or we're going to such and such beach. How are you going to get there if you don't know where you're going? Well, the same's true in life. That's why we need to have goals. If you don't know where you're heading, you'll never ever make it there. So what is your goal? That's what I want you to think about today, and I challenge you to pick at least one goal for your life going forward. Write that goal down, take a picture of it. When I ran the Marshall Marathon, as soon as I signed up for the race, the first thing I did was I went online and I found a picture of the medal that they were giving out that year. And I took a screenshot of it and I went to the local pharmacy and I had copies made. I put one copy on my bathroom mirror so that every morning when I brushed my teeth, my goal was right in front of me. I started the day thinking about my goal. I put one copy on the dashboard of my truck. I spend a lot of time in my truck for my career. So all day long I was reminded about my goal, and I put a copy on my treadmill. So anytime it was rainy out or whatever and I trained inside, I had a picture of my goal right in front of me. So write that goal down, take a picture of it, do whatever you have to do to remind yourself. Inbox me what your goals are. Comment on this video. Tell us what your goals are. Let's nail this down, and next time we'll talk about how we're going to meet those goals. We're going to talk about the differences between our plans and our goals. Thank you guys for watching, and I look forward to seeing the chains fall in your lives.